being able to coach a big man. It's because I've never had one. And I want to go on record in saying that it took exactly 1 second for him to get his first touch. Okay? On record, we could get the ball to the big guy. I want to congratulate Mercer. They deserve to win. Neither team deserved to lose, but they really deserved to win. Those kids made big shots. Their stuff is really hard to guard. Bob Hoffman is one of the best coaches in college basketball, period. They're in the same league with Chattanooga and East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State beat Mississippi State at Mississippi State. Chattanooga beat Tennessee, almost beat Vanderbilt last night. They expected to come in here and win. I can't begin to tell you how tough a week this has been. And even at the end of this week, I can't tell you what the last couple of days have been like trying to prepare for that team and trying to get Austin ready to play 15 minutes when his teammates have been together for 6 months and he's been with us for 6 hours. Yeah, his timing wasn't perfect, and you know, obviously we didn't play him at 15 minutes. But for him to have picked up on the things that he needed to do in such a short period of time is remarkable. I thought that potentially his presence was going to be such a distraction as far as he wouldn't know where to go, what to do, that could hurt us beating Mercer. That wasn't the case. His presence helped us. And as he continues to learn what to do, you know, obviously you can see what a special player he is. I thought Mustafa Heron on that dish, his catch and tough finish was just a huge play. The last play, Coach Person drew it up. Those guys have a lot of side outs in the NBA and short clocks. And so the play was for Jared to set a little baseline screen for Dunnins to bring him to the corner, and then to come off a double pin down the top. The problem was D'Angelo didn't wait for Jared to get there and slipped down too soon. Jared curled and wasn't open. So really Mustafa had nobody to throw the ball to. So he threw it to the tallest next best available player, and that was Dunnins in the corner. And obviously he made a memorable shot. Great crowd, great atmosphere. These are the kind of games you have to win to have a memorable season, to have potentially a memorable season. It's hard to get 8 wins in the non-conference, especially against the schedule that we're playing. And so we feel obviously very, very, very fortunate.
Bruce, they had a timeout left. Did you think that they would take it and you'd have to draw something else up?
I liked what we drew up. I don't know that, again, the only one that didn't execute it was D'Angelo because he left too soon. If we had lost tonight, we would be talking about freshmen. We'd be talking about, how does D'Angelo have 27 2 nights in a row and come out like this? And that's because he's never had 27 in a row, 2 nights back-to-back in college. Psychologically, that definitely affects you in his preparation. Not so much the scout. It's more his own preparation. Can't start the game. He has always let it come to him. And as long as he continues to do that, he'll do really well. We did a great job from the free throw line tonight. Mustafa made his first 5, but missed, 3 out of the last 4? Or was it 4? 3? That's significant. Notice how my sports information director, bang, right on the spot, with that information. If Gus Malzahn was up here, he'd have it. But no.
You're right all the time.
I am right. I am exactly. How many did he make?
Mustafa's 5 for 9.
No kidding. I can see the stat sheet. In the last 4, how many did he make?
He missed 3 out of his last 4.
Boom. There it is. Thank you. Appreciate that. I thought you've been doing this for a few years. Questions?
Bruce, how big was it for TJ? Not obviously, but I mean, he's had a rough start to this season. So for him to make that in that spot after what's been a rough go these first 8-9 games.
James, that's extremely accurate. TJ Dunnins is in a really good place, but the path to get there has been challenging. He is 15 hours away from his degree. He had a good semester academically, and for me, he's a dad, he's a senior, he's 15 hours, and coming from junior college, 15 hours away from his degree at Auburn. That's first and foremost. Second of all, he's healthy. Yes, his start has had fits and start, but he can play. He knows how to play. He rebounds, he defends, he can make big plays. So, while he's not our best shooter, he's one of our toughest kids.
Though it doesn't hold up as the game-winning play for Austin to have both the block on the defensive end and what was a go-ahead layup there. To have that presence immediately in this spot and it'd be the first game and everything else. What does that say about this player you just brought into this player?
Well, he's a terrific young man who's extremely dedicated, that worked really hard to get here. Keep in mind, Austin loved Spain Park, and Spain Park loved him. They almost won a championship together. But when it became a potential option for him to start his college career a little sooner, everybody knew that for his own development, that would be something that could be a real positive. But he had to give a lot up. He had to leave home. He had to go to Florida. He had to take summer school and fall classes and speed it up. And he grinded, he worked. And as a result now, he is a part of the Auburn family, which is something that his mother and father have been working towards for a long time. So yeah, clearly, when we start to let Austin see some of the other things that's available out there, he'll continue to do more. But you know what? I don't even think he would care how many points or rebounds he had. I think he just cares that in his first game, Auburn won.
Do you like his eagerness out there? I mean, he was asking for the ball. Those first 3 or 4 possessions, he kept slapping his hands. I mean, he was very excited to be out there.
Yeah, our guys have never looked in there all year. So my job is to now teach them to look in there a little bit. So, again, I can't tell you what a difficult prep this was. I mean, Thursday night was late. We brought him back on Friday, and all of a sudden, we're kind of counting the clock down about whether Austin's going to be here or not be here. And then we practice, and then we go Saturday at noon to sort of simulate the noon start. And I go home last night, and I start, watch more tape, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we haven't shown them this and that. Oh my God, if they run that, we're dead. And they run some of that, and they beat us on this. So it's very fortunate, but it's a good team. Mercer will compete with East Tennessee State and Chattanooga for the SoCon title.
Does it seem like in the second half you were trying to push the tempo a bit more after the first half was much more possession geared, especially first half seemed to play into their hands as far as possession. Second half seemed like you were willing to push it more.
The reason for that would be the rebound totals. I don't have them, but in the second half, they didn't dominate the boards quite like they did the first half. We got some rebounds and some runs. When you play against zone slows you down. It just slows you down. And so we have things in place to attack zone and transition, but we did not execute them. We just didn't. And so, yeah, we picked up the pace a little bit in the second half, but more than anything, it was their zone. I mean, have 15 assists on 20 field goals. We obviously made the extra pass and shared it a little bit. And obviously, to get to the foul line, we drove it and got it inside enough.
Everybody good? All right, Dunnins.